Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. This video is about Axpona, a massive audiophile show coming up. So if you don't know about it, head over to axpona.com to learn more or take a look at some other content on YouTube. I'm going to be doing a lot of coverage for this show. This is the first of Axpona 24 coverage, and I'm going to start with an interview with someone on the inside, as well as share some of my own experiences. So take a look at axpona.com if you want to learn more. But with that being said, let's switch over to the interview. Hey everybody, it's Joe from Gadgetry Tech, and I have Liz Smith here. She's the event director for Axpona, a show that has quickly become my favorite destination every year now, so I can't wait to go. It's coming up in just a few weeks, so we're going to talk about the event a little bit, and she's going to share some things to help, hopefully, both myself and everyone watching this video on what to expect or look forward to or do there. And then I'll sprinkle in some of my experiences, because I certainly learned a lot from last year, and I'm really excited to be part of the event coverage going forward. I will be filming and interviewing several companies there, kind of show you my experience of Axpona. So stay tuned for after the show as well, because I'll have a lot of follow-up content as well. So Liz, event director, how long have you been doing this? What have you seen as far as growth and changes from the prior years?
I've been working on the show since 2014. That was the first year that we ran the show. I've been event director, I think, since 2016, 2017, something like that. So it's been a long time, and the show has grown so much. I mean, the first year we ran the show, I think we had like 60 or 70 rooms, and now we're up to 200. Even back in like 2022, like when we came back after the pandemic, I think we had like 130, and like this year, everything's bigger, and which is great.
Yeah, bigger, better,
Bigger and
more
better.
stuff to see.
Mhm.
So, and we had chatted a little bit prior to making this video for you all. And once I started learning about some things that they're doing this year to make it easier, because it's such a big show, I want to ask you about the app. So I understand at the time of filming this, the app is kind of like pre-beta and getting filled in, but it'll be available, several days at least before the show kicks off. Um, so if you want to talk about what the app contains, how that helps you navigate, or what it's designed to function as.
Well, so the app, it's like you can use it in two versions. So there's a mobile website. So if you don't want to download a native app, you can just use the mobile website, or you can download an app to like an iPhone or Android device, if you want to have it local, which is good because sometimes depending on where you are in the venue, there's not
Yes.
free Wi-Fi. So downloading that native app, for Exponent specifically, is really helpful. But anyway, the app really is meant to be a tool to help you plan ahead, navigate the show while you're there, and also get the most up-to-date information, because believe it or not, like we have to print that event guide, that like paper book
Oh,
/years
yeah.
that everyone uses, as a Bible. But as much as it is a Bible, it gets printed about a month before the show.
Hmm.
So like all of the updates, like if exhibitors have new partners, if they add new products, it can have like a lot more detail, in the app too. So you can, find more descriptions, you can find new products, you can find exhibitor special events. There's the floor plans, everything like that. But then kind of talking about navigating, you can log in and make a profile. And in that profile, you can then favorite, exhibitors that you want to see. So it kind of helps you create your agenda.
And is that on the web page as well, or just through the app that you can create your favorites?
Through both. So
Okay.
you could even set up your profile if you're at home, if you're kind of like a computer
Yeah.
person on a big screen, you can like search and favorite and everything, and then log in on your phone too, and then have that while you're at the show.
Cool. Yeah. So this is, once I learned that, that's why I'm like, okay, let's save this conversation for the video I'm sharing, because I moved pretty quick. I had a buddy helping me last year. We were going up and down flights. I didn't even want to wait for the elevators, because that's another thing. There's only so many elevators there, and depending on time of day, there's definitely a queue to go up from the main lobby, I noticed. So we got our steps in on the stairs. And as fast as we went, I couldn't see everything at the show. There was just too much stuff there. So I think, at least because I wanted to really enjoy certain things once I started hearing them. But this planning thing is huge. If you have a bucket list of brands, pick your top 10 that you have to see. And the favoriting thing is super helpful, because from my experience, at least year one, I was kind of overwhelmed because there's just so much to take in. It's like kid in a candy store. So that's huge. And then as a nerd, you mentioned that there is going to be an Excel spreadsheet for all of us to build and tinker and make our own agenda, if you will. So is that going live soon as well, or
Yeah, that's going live. So that should be live by, that should be live this week to give
awesome?
people time so that way you can sort and yeah, tinker and kind of make it your own. Because I know a lot of people just like to see that data. And so
Yeah,
we post that too, because to try to make it yourself and download all the info is
yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, no, it's so I learned a lot from last year. I was kind of blown away. I've put off going to a couple other shows this year because I really wanted to get the most out of Axpona. Um, Obviously, for those of you who watch my channel, I review a lot of headphones and IEMs as well. And there is the Ear Gear show, which is, not to directly compare it to Can Jam, that's headphone focused. A lot of the same brands are there, a lot of the same people. I've seen Sennheiser there, Meze Audio, ZMF. There's a lot of value-added resellers there, if that's the appropriate term for them, or like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
distributors,
yeah, distributor. Yep.
and
Distributor and dealers.
almost yeah, exactly. So you have like even if your brand isn't necessarily there, there are storefronts there, like Moon Audio, for example. I've seen them there, and they carry a ton of different brands. So you can also listen to headphones and IEMs in a rather quiet environment compared to some of the other shows that are headphone focused and huge. And for my thing with this, a lot of people associate Xpona with just like the multi-million-dollar systems. There are tons of speakers there under 1,000, like several $100s and up. So to me, if you're legitimately in the market for any kind of higher end audio purchase, whether it's a few $100s to 100+ grand, I don't know of another place that you can fully listen to anything you want. So for some people, this is just to hear things and have the experience. For some people, it's legitimately to pre-shop, whether it's on a budget or higher. And then you get to meet with these companies too, because the reps from those companies are there, so you can ask your questions instead of sending an email. You get a very personal connection with a lot of the brands, and that was really exciting. But I think the other thing is the people are it's just the community is awesome. I met so many awesome people last year that wanted to talk about audio, share their favorite music, and you were gonna say something on the
I
brand
was gonna
part.
say, yeah, like, I mean, it's reps, which like, reps from manufacturer like are super knowledgeable. And I mean, whenever you talk to anyone in this space, they know their products, they're passionate about it. But I think one of the cool things is sometimes the actual designers are there. So you can talk to the
Yes,
person who built the product, who like it came out of their brain and they put it together and they were the ones like tinkering and figuring it out and they had a goal in mind. And and like an opportunity like that, I think is really cool.
it really is. That I've seen. I walked into a couple rooms where they had just started giving a talk about how they designed that speaker,
Mhm.
which was really cool because I got to learn so much. Their crossover matrix, changing cabinet designs to get the profile and off the wall placement requirements that they were targeting. Um, And I've been into audio for, I don't know, 20+ years now, probably 30 now if I'm dating myself, since I was a kid. I'll just say that. And going to Axpona for the first time last year, I felt like I was pretty well connected to all the brands that were there. And understanding what to expect and what to look for. But I saw so many brands and speaker designs and models I had never heard of in my life. Like was it Treehouse? Those huge flat speakers that they had
Oh yeah,
made of
yeah.
live wood. I'd never seen anything
Oh,
like it.
thank
And
you. Yeah.
yeah, it's like in some of these you don't even have to be actively wanting to buy. It's just to see it and experience it, to say you got to see that in person, talk to the people, hear different tracks on it. Um, and another random thing. So my buddy did this last year. This is a huge tip I recommend to people. There's a lot of good demo tracks being played. My friend had the songs, I think it's called songs. It's like the auto listen to music. So he just
Okay.
had the phone constantly listening for music, and we walked room to room. And then by the end, he has like a full playlist of all these demo tracks that were being used by all these speaker companies. So we could then listen to the same stuff on our demo equipment, which was super cool. So
Good tip.
yeah, and this is just year one. We're only scratching the surface, I feel.
Yeah.
All right, so Liz, I've been doing a lot of talking. As far as what you want to share, what are some things that stand out to you, or what would you like to let the audience know that doesn't always get brought up?
I mean, I think some of the things that are good to know are just like what else you can do at the show besides all the listening rooms and all the exhibits. I mean, obviously we want to talk about the gear. That's the main focus of the show. But if you want a break from visiting exhibits, we have a lot of educational programs at the show. We have a full seminar schedule. One of the sessions that really stands out to me this year is a full session on the design and construction of a listening room. And it's really
Nice.
cool. Yeah, it's really cool because it's so it actually has the client, which is a YouTuber. So it's like him talking about the experience, the designer, and then they also have like an the acoustician, tough word. So you
Yeah.
have like the three players doing that case study. And I feel like that's really something unique to kind of understand the, like, the beginning, the process, the end, and hearing all of those different opinions and voices for that process. Um, and there's other panels too, like, there's like turntable setup seminars. We're actually digging into, tape, like reel to reel this year. Like we're talking about that because, that's always, it never goes away.
It's
Books are always,
crazy to see it like starting to come back again. The last couple of years, I've been seeing more of it, and I'm like shocked. It's a
exactly.
hard medium to get the source for the actual music.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and there's even actually that's a good point too. It's like, I mean, there are vendors for that too. If you want to get into that, we have folks that sell tape at the show.
Nice.
And if you're another place to like shop at the show is like, if you're not on the market for gear, but you're into vinyl, like this year in the record fair, we have like more vendors than ever. We actually have some first time companies coming, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot of opportunity for crate digging.
Yeah, I wanted to spend more time down there. I was kind of flying through, but I felt like because I got too excited at the beginning and I sit down and then I end up spending like a half an hour or more in one room. And then I'm like, holy cow, I should be tracking like 70 rooms a day if I was going to actually hear everything. And I'm at like 3 hours in. This is not good. Um, but that area was really cool. And for those of you who haven't gone to Axpona before, there's tons of records there. There's also a lot of vintage equipment there. I saw tons of old gear, collectible type equipment. So if you're local to the area and you're going to Axpona, leave some room in your trunk. And I noticed there's like a cafeteria towards the back. Is that going to be there too for food options over
Yeah,
there?
that'll be there. And that's actually a good thing too. It's like if you're at the show for full days, you gotta plan time to eat.
Yeah.
So you can keep going. So there's a cafe in the back of the expo hall. There's also up by the hotel on like the lobby level, they set up a station called like burritos and bowls. And so it's kind of like,
Yes.
yeah,
I loved
that's
it.
one of my favorites. Like I eat
We
that every day.
My
Um,
friend and I have been talking about that place and praying that you use the same company. For those of you who are just looking for a quick meal, I'm not plugging a burrito place as much as I love food, but they were like pretty affordable and you don't have to wait. The line goes super quick. The staff gets you what you need. And then my buddy and I would just inhale a bowl of like rice and pulled pork and stuff. And 15 minutes later, we're back cruising through and checking out more stuff. So, and the restaurant there is really good too, if you want like
yeah,
a real meal.
yeah, the restaurant is like the restaurant's excellent, but like you just said, like I think it's like the other places are quick. Like the
Yeah.
restaurants get really busy. They're delicious, but there are long lines. And so checking out the burritos and bowls or in the cafe in the expo hall, there's like sandwiches, but there's also carving stations. So you could get
Yeah.
like, barbecue or something like
Oh yeah, I remember that. I
that.
think we had just eaten that one time we saw it, so it was like too little, too late type thing. But um, cool. Yeah, no, that area is pretty fun, and that's again where I was starting to meet some really cool people because I think a lot of passionate hobbyists are down there when they're starting to look at some old gear and talking to those vendors. I think it was GIK Acoustics or some acoustic panel companies were there, so it's not even just music listening equipment. There's stuff to prep your room as well.
Right. There's the panels there, which is great.
So we know there's a lot of stuff to do at the show. The show is packed all day, and is if you're trying to take in as much as you can, I think you'll never run out, even at a fast pace. But going beyond that, the show doesn't end when the audio demos wrap up. There seems to always be things going on in the evening. So what are some things people can do if they're staying for the 2-3 day weekend?
So I mean, so officially, like we actually have two concerts that are included with tickets. So Friday night we have a jazz concert. It's a local Chicago musician, Bobby Broom. It's gonna be really cool. He was actually at the show quite a few years ago. We're bringing him back. And then Saturday night is going to be the Secret Sisters. They're kind of like a kind of like a folk duo. I actually saw them a few years ago, and they have a new album coming out, so I thought it'd be really cool
Cool.
for Axpona. And then, like you were saying, like the show really never ends. A lot of exhibitors like keep their rooms open later. They do special events. They might have like listening parties in their room. So,
Oh
if
yeah,
you
that's right.
walk, yeah, like so if you walk, sometimes like with special guests, like they'll have like an editor or someone like kind of come in and like pick an album and talk about it or do something like that. So if you wander around and hear music, you'll find plenty to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas we were just because we were out and about trying to meet up with a couple people. A lot of groups hang out in the halls too. So I think I touched this on the beginning of the video, but um, don't take for granted all of these people that share the same passion and hobby as you. Talk to others because I think you meet some really awesome people there and create some good memories and maybe connect with people after the show too to keep in touch with because it's pretty hard to have a local hi-fi garage meetup type thing, but this is kind of like everyone comes together. So yeah, keep an eye out in the halls too, I guess when you're roaming around. Um, Now, the other thing I want to touch on, so tickets are pretty cheap regardless of going same day or early, but they are cheaper online ahead of time. So I'm sure if Liz, you want to touch on this, you can feel free to add. But if you're planning on going to Axpona, don't I hate to take away money from supporting Exponent, but save your money, buy online ahead of time. The prices will online increase just by a couple dollars, but same day is still only 35 for just if you decide on a whim you want to go. And then the 3 day pass is $95 for when you consider all the stuff you can see in demo compared to the cost of the gear. It's a pretty insane value. And I understand the gold pass sells out pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, the gold pass is actually sold out. And I will say too, like it's if you buy online, you save money, but you also save time. Like it's a
Yeah,
heck of a lot faster just to like it's like going to a concert. Like you show up, we scan your barcode, hand
true.
you a badge, and you're in. Where if you have to buy a ticket, it's you're talking to somebody, you're buying that. So you save money and you save time.
Yep. No, that makes sense. And so take a look on the website. So just to kind of pull all this together too, I'm going to use the video description and perhaps a pinned comment depending on, how much content I'm trying to fit in this video. So use the links in the description in the comment to help navigate and know where to go for things. Otherwise, it's just axpona.com. Really simple. And that gives you the exhibitor list, schedules, where you can buy tickets, all that good stuff. But wait, there's more. Liz is kind enough to work with us in the channel on getting the show into more people's hands to be able to attend. So I'm pleased to say that we are going to be doing some giveaways. And so instead of explaining this all verbally, because it's very process oriented when it comes to giveaways and how I'll be promoting it, again, use the description and the comments below. I am going to be doing a raffle and there's a decent amount. They were pretty generous. It's not like I have just 2 tickets to give away. So there will be several winners and hopefully that can cover some of your expenses of going. But again, to show the whole value thing earlier, I'm pretty surprised that the tickets are still as low as they are compared to some other venues that I've gone to that are significantly more expensive for less stuff to do. So but the other thing, if you go, look for me. The first 2 people or groups, or maybe more, I'll plan for at least 2. I will have some gear in my bag and I will hand you a prize if you're the first person to spot me at the show. Because I was surprised a few people recognized me last year and the channel's grown a lot. So I'm going to reward you all for being loyal and coming to hang out. And I will create an Axpona chat thread in my Discord server. So if you want to meet some other people that either support the channel or are watching this and want someone to talk to in real time, take a look in the description for that, and that'll help you do some coordination. Well, hey, Liz, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Is there anything else you want to add, or do you think we covered everything? Or
I think we covered everything. I mean, I hope just as many
awesome.
people can come out as possible, and because it's great to see everyone in person.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the kid in the candy store if you're into any kind of music or audio equipment whatsoever. I've seen it learn so much just in that first year. I can't wait to take in more this year. So cool. Well, hey, thank you so much. Everyone, like I said, take a look in the description below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button because there's going to be a lot more content to follow this. So I'll see you at the next one. Bye.